What up, Sam? It is April 4th, 2024. And what does that mean? We are 9 days away from a big, big day.
What day?
What day? Are you really going there? We're really doing this right now?
I mean, I'm more so just guiding the conversation for all the people who don't keep track a day-to-day countdown of your wedding, but I guess you just assume that everyone is day by day tracking how many days left to your wedding. Is that what you were implying?
I was not assuming anything. I was just saying that if you follow Elevation Nation and you've heard, the podcast, Fortitude and 15s in particular, the last couple weeks, there's quite a day coming up. JJ and I are getting married in 9 days. And man, that is crazy. Very exciting.
I give you a lot of credit because, one, I obviously adore JJ. I think she's incredible. But two, I can tell you're actually really excited about this wedding because you talk about it nonstop. Whereas if it was my wedding, I think I would be so nervous about so many things going wrong, like me tripping down the aisle or whatever, that I just wouldn't even want to acknowledge it. So you must be very confident in how everything's going to go.
Well, yes, I am glad that I am feeling that confidence, one. And secondly, I would hope that you're excited for your wedding. I mean, it's probably like it's supposed to be the best day of your life.
I thought that was for the girl. It was supposed to be the best day of your life.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, still getting married. It's like I saw John Rothstein. This is a great segue into the conversation for today. John Rothstein, the CBS college basketball reporter, he tweeted last night, like, 4 main milestones you'll never forget in your life: your bar mitzvah, your wedding, the birth of your firstborn, and NC State beating Duke as an 11 seed to make the Final Four. And I was like, you know what? He's so right, because NC State is rolling. And yeah, bar mitzvah is great. Wedding, to your point, great for the woman. So what for the guy? No, screw that. It's a day I hope I never forget. And, of course, God willing, birth of the firstborn. But enough wedding talk. Let's talk March Madness. John Rothstein's point about what this team in NC State is doing. And if you're following or not following, NC State was an 11 seed. They barely made the tournament. They had to win their conference tournament as a 10 seed. Little background for you: there's only 14 teams in the ACC. They were the 10th best team over the course of the entire season. The only way they were getting into March Madness is if they won their conference tournament. They hit a half-court shot to send the quarterfinal game into overtime. They don't make that shot, we're not here talking about this. They hit that shot, they go on a run, and so Sam and I wanted to break down, man, so much elevation and mental fortitude that we can talk about with this NC State basketball team, Sam.
I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Parker, that was your best transition you've ever done into our topic from your day-to-day life. That was incredible. Taking it from wedding talk through a tweet from Rothstein all the way to the topic of today, which is the NC State Wolfpack and March Madness. Well done. Props to you. You're on your game. Someone's fired up for the wedding. We're talking sports today.
You don't read Twitter as much. I'm like, hey, Twitter sometimes comes around.
I don't read Twitter at all. So yeah, you're 100% right. It was a great tweet. Well done. We're talking about sports today, and not in the sense of Parker and I are turning this into a sports podcast, but we want to tell you more about that incredible story that Parker just alluded to, the NC State Wolfpack. Like Parker said, they were not supposed to be in the tournament. They, by a miracle, made the tournament, and now they are playing the hottest basketball in all of the country right now. They are on fire. Just made it to the Final Four, an incredible feat. And let's be honest, they're looking pretty spicy. They could make it to the championship game. They are looking very good. And so I want to talk about a couple things about this unique team. Number one, momentum. They got momentum on their side at the perfect time. I'm going to share another tweet I saw, Parker, since you think I'm not on Twitter. The NC State Wolfpack played the ACC championship game at Capital One Arena here in Washington, D.C. They won 5 games in a row to get to that championship game and win it all. The Washington Wizards have only won 4 games at Capital One Arena this season. The NC State Wolfpack have won more games than our beloved Washington Wizards, but that's besides the point.
Damn.
They got momentum at the right time. And so momentum is more than just sports, right? Momentum is confidence that you carry through with you. And I think, unfortunately, in life, there are many ebbs and flows, ups and downs, successes, and maybe things that are failures to some. What you can do to turn failures and successes into momentum is treat them as positives. As Parker always says, there's never really a failure. It's just a lesson learned, right? With the NC State Wolfpack, they went through a lot of adversity this year. They struggled a ton as a team. They had a very bad record throughout the season. And they decided they would take some struggles that they had and turn them into lessons, into positivity, and say, why not us? Let's turn that into momentum. Their momentum has carried them throughout this tournament. They certainly are not the most talented team, but they have the most momentum. So incredible work there. Super interesting concept on momentum that I'm going to parlay into our next topic, which is many of the NC State Wolfpack's best players have played at a handful of different schools leading up to this season. They had a lot of transfers in their program. Guys that did not start together and work their way up through this program and play together. Guys who were overlooked, maybe not recruited from certain high-level schools, went and played D3 or D2 ball somewhere, and then worked their way up, trusted the process, and now came together as this ragtaggy group of young men to create this amazing team. And the lesson that I take away from the NC State Wolfpack being different bits and pieces is a little bit of a sentiment, I would say, Parker, to the modern, our generation when it comes to employment, right? Our parents' generation stayed loyal, right? They were the Duke Blue Devils, where you would go freshman year and you'd stay all the way through senior year and work your way up and get playing time. Our generation, especially thanks to NIL deals, they love that transfer portal. They love pivoting, changing, and finding a different direction and seizing new opportunities instead of waiting for opportunities to come to them. And whether that's a pro or con in the professional world, we're not going to get into a debate about that today. But I do think that NC State is a beautiful example of young adults realizing that where they were at in their careers was not working for them. And so they made a change and they pivoted and they took a step forward and they changed their perspective. They changed their location to get them to where they needed to go. And it's a story that many of us are familiar with in our jobs as young people, and a story that Parker and I are familiar with Elevation Nation. Elevation Nation started as a resume reviewing and interview prep company. We then pivoted into a life as a young adult company. We then pivoted into an app that we were going to sell on the App Store. We then pivoted into a podcast. We then pivoted into workshops and public speaking. We then pivoted into connecting amazing human beings together. Throughout our journey, we have pivoted and really transferred into different realms. And just like NC State, I think it's brought us to the Final Four as well.
I would love to be at the Final Four down in in Phoenix, Arizona, playing in front of 80,000 people in a football stadium where the people at the top of the top can't even see the basketball. But that sounds pretty cool. I think what is incredible story about NC State and that I take away among all your points is the idea that we think that you have to be the best skilled to be the best, to get the best outcome. And I think sports, we're both sports guys, continue to remind us that the skills are important because they get you to the moment, but it's not the skills that are going to put you past that moment into glory. It's the willpower. It's the things that you cannot see. It is the intangibles. It is the mental fortitude that is the thing that gets you over to the hump. It is the thing that is the most important when it means the most. And looking at these guys, to your point, like they may not be the most skilled. They just took down the most skilled teams. North Carolina, Duke twice, Virginia. They took down a Marquette. You could even argue they didn't even have the best coaching, right? Their coach was on the hot seat, probably going to get fired if they didn't get to this point. Now he is the top guy in America right now.
Now he's probably going to quit and get a better job.
I mean, like, it's crazy to think about, but when you see a group of guys who believe in themselves, a group of guys who just figure it out, no bullshit, but then at the same time can get over the idea of, okay, we know we're not this most skilled, but what do we bring to the table? What are we good at? What are we not good at? Let's create our vision around that and show what fuels us on that court. That's how elevating happens. And we're watching it, we're witnessing it right in front of us. True elevation happen. And it is an incredible story that we're going to continue to follow, that America is following. And Sam, I mean, we could continue to talk about this story. By the way, they are the 6th team, I believe, to ever make the Final Four as an 11 seed. 11 seed is the lowest seed to ever make the Final Four. An 11 seed has never made the final. So we will see if NC State can overcome and be the first 11 seed to make the final, let alone the lowest seed ever to win a national championship. The lowest seed ever was done by Villanova as an 8 seed in 1985, from what I recall. Pretty incredible. This will go down as the story of 2024, at least in the sports world. And it's been fun to watch. It's been inspiring for sure, because you're never really out of it, Sam, until you're out of it. And that's the way these guys have lived it.
I love it. Thank you for appeasing us, Elevation Nation, and letting us talk a little bit about something Parker and I love, March Madness. My favorite time of year, my favorite sports event of the entire year. I know it's not Parker's, but I think he still likes it a lot. We'll see who wins it all. We'll probably circle back on this in a couple Fortitude and 15s. All right, elevator shout-outs. Elevator number 92. Johnny Lazarus just keeps doing amazing things when it comes to the hockey world. Johnny did his first full season of color commentary for the Hockey East Association. Just released his highlight reel. Listen, this kid was made to be in front of the camera. We're just lucky enough we got him in front of it before he was big time. Laz, we are proud of you, man. Love you, brother. Keep on grinding. Good work.
And, I mean, his New York Rangers are freaking crushing it. Imagine, like, he is the guy. He's following the team. He's in the, press box on a team that very much has cup potential. Talk about elevating and, being in some pretty freaking cool rooms. You got to love it. All right, where's my elevator shout out going this week? Man, this is hard, dude. This is freaking hard. Because there's so many people doing absolutely incredible things. I saw Elevators 18 and Elevator 17, Max Berger and Sam Feldman are released, or they did release a new album. After taking a little hiatus, Something Simple is back. Shout out Max, shout out Sam. And while they took a hiatus, that does not mean they put an end to Something Simple. They're bringing it back. Loving their music more than ever. Continue to keep it up, guys. Love what you're doing.
All right. I got an elevator question to end the podcast for Parker. Parker, we are 9 days away from your wedding. I've practiced your speech. I've refined it. I was told it was too long.
By who?
I cut it down.
Me?
It's still...
I haven't heard it.
By some trusted friends, not by you. By some trusted friends. Right. It's still too long, but you're just gonna have to deal with it.
All right. You don't have to deal with me.
My question for you.
You do with JJ.
Yeah, she'll be fine. She'll cry. It's
okay.
Fine. My question for you: what are you most excited about for your wedding weekend?
Oh man,
one thing.
Yeah, we'll have to reflect on this after, but obviously there's so many things. Obviously, like sharing such a special day with JJ. obviously being able to walk down the aisle, obviously to be with friends and family. I think one thing that I continue to get advice on is be present in that moment, because you're never going to have another day in your life where every single person in the room is there for you. And that is kind of crazy to think about. We're going to have a big wedding, and I think it's going to be certainly incredible to feel the love, but I'm really going to try to take a moment to just look around and appreciate, like, wow, every person in this room has a story and has helped us get to where we are today. And I think that's going to be really exciting. Like, I'm really excited about is to share such a special day of JJ and myself getting married with the people who are most important to us in our lives. And that is what love and marriage and like this incredible thing that we do as humans, you know, like other animals, like when they mate, they don't have weddings. Like, I think it's a really incredible thing that humans do. And it's certainly a sacred thing that is respected across all aspects of humanity. So I'm pumped to have it for myself.
Okay, you heard it here first. Elevation Nation, until next week. Peace.